record for today. Let's see, well, not that much. See if we can zoom in a little bit here since it's so dim. Sorry. I'm Clint Stanley. I've had a few of you before, not a lot, but a few of you before. It's just Mr., not Doctor. So you don't have to doctor me. If you do say doctor, just to be safe, it's okay. It's not. Makes me wish I got paid a little more. My office is. So if you go to this middle staircase, my office is 129. If you go to this middle staircase, it's right by the stairs on the first floor. Here's my email. It's castanley@jsu.edu. My office phone. Almost nobody ever uses the office phone. And okay, email is the best way to get in touch with me. It comes to my phone, so time I have my phone, I can get. First, I should have started with this. Everybody in the right place in basic statistics? Spring semester, you don't have that quite as much as in their own place. So to be in this class, I don't know, we got the boring syllabus stuff. To be in this class, you need to have either the proper score on the placement test, that EdReady thing, or you can have taken MS 100, scored appropriately, or you could have taken MS 110 or a higher math class. Any of those will get you in this class. If you are not sure, need prerequisites to be in here. Sometimes the system doesn't work and stuff like that. If you're not sure, just come talk to me. Check it. Be doubly sure on any of that. So for the class, really the only thing that you need to physically go out and buy, if you don't already have, a calculator that has statistical functions. That doesn't mean graphing calculator. You don't have to spend $100 on a calculator. Most scientific calculators that are in the $20 to $30 range will do everything we need doing here. Want to check if you're buying one. You just want to check to make sure that it has statistical functions here. I've got a few models, or I guess two, listed there that are really popular. I see a lot, but other ones will work as well. If you already have a calculator and you're not sure, email me the model number or bring it to class and we'll look at it and make sure that it's good. No particular model that you have to have. You just need one that says it has statistics. Our textbook's called Beginning Statistics. Most people don't usually know what the textbook looks like by the time we get done. That's okay. Electronic version's fine. It automatically comes with the other stuff you need for the class. So you don't have to have hard copies. What we do need, where all of our assignments will be done, is access to this software called Hawks Learning. Some of you may have used it in 110 if you took 110 here. So you need access to Hawks Learning, and to do that, all you have to do is click a link through Canvas, and it's charged to your student account. You automatically have access. And it is discounted from what it would be if you went and bought a code or something at the bookstore. We'll look at how to do that in a minute, and when you do that, it automatically comes with the electronic copy of the textbook. Questions about any of the materials? We don't have too many holidays to, sadly, I guess, sit here, but we are out of class Monday. We have a Monday off, February 17th. The last day to add or drop, and if you're dropping, the last day to drop and get your money back is Tuesday, 15th. Like if you decide you need to change your schedule or something, and last day there. Spring break is the 21st through the 25th, March. A lot of you probably already know that. It seems like I've been looking at when that is since about September. So, okay. Then the last day to drop any class just period, is April 1st. It's April Fool's Day. Kind of slightly humorous. It falls on that thing. And final exam time for this class. I know it's early to be talking about that, but on Monday, May 2nd, is a slightly different time than our normal class time. We'll talk about that when closer to. I think of anything I missed on the important dates? Other dates you want to know about? Our grade for this class, and sorry, this stuff's. Grade for this class, we'll take 3 tests during the semester. One test will be 100 points each. Altogether, that's 75% of the grade, or you can say each test is 25% of the grade. And then our assignments that we do in Hawks Learning's 25%. We'll look at the Hawks stuff in more detail. And final exam in here, I'm gonna let it be optional this semester. I did that in the fall, and nice. Optional final exam. So the only reason why you would want to take the final is if you're trying to improve your grade comes final exam time. If after we take test 3 and you get finished with whatever you're going to do in Hawks Learning on those assignments, if you're happy with your grade, then I have to take the final. And if you do want to take the final to improve your grade, what it does is it will replace one of your test 1 through 3 scores, whichever one's the lowest, whichever one that'll help you the most. So it's kind of like you get a redo on the test 1 through 3 score. Okay, the downside to that, why it's better to not rely on it if you can help it, thing is that final exam's comprehensive, so it covers it. These 3 tests don't. Ideally, in an ideal world, you would make good enough on test 1 through 3 that you don't have to worry about the final. But if you're happy with your grade, then final exam just doesn't come into play. On that part, that's probably the most important part, where your grade comes from in the class. Okay, so now we're gonna briefly skim all the junk I gotta have in here. Okay? And we have a brand new COVID policy I gotta put in here, so this is not on Canvas yet, but I'll have it by Friday in there, and then we'll look at that briefly, and I'll get this copy. Here we're talking about phones and smartwatches and stuff. In a regular class, it's not really a big deal. Try to make sure it's not going to ring and disturb everybody, but if it goes off on accident, it's not a big deal. Try to pay attention to what we're doing in class so you can make use of your time, but if you need to answer a text message, it's not a big deal on a normal day. All this is saying is that on test day, you can't have phones and smartwatches and stuff and be using those. The university policy is that if the teacher just sees your phone out, sees you using it really, then it's automatic evidence, F, and have no right of grade. Not a problem. Just where I'll remind you to silence your phone and put those away on test. Questions? With math and computer science normally does have an attendance policy. It says you want you to be at 80% of class meetings. We kind of have some issues going on in the world, right? It makes that a little tough. So just try to come as often as you can. And we got a lot of stuff going on. Okay, people have a lot of, even if you don't have COVID, right? You got family members under a lot of stress and things. Sometimes you need to help, all kinds of stuff. Just try to be here. You're not going to fail if you are only here 79% of the time. I will take attendance just to keep track. I know to check on you if you haven't been here in a while and I haven't heard and things like that, but really doesn't have that much of an impact. You don't get a grade for attendance. concerns on the all of our assignments other than our test will be paper, and as long as we don't have any university policy changes about being in a room together like that. Our test will be on paper. All of our other assignments will be submitted online through the Hawk software here shortly. If we have class meetings canceled or something like that, then we might have to change how we're doing tests, but unless we're under pretty extreme circumstances, we'll take a regular old paper test. Probably the next step from that would be what we did in 2020. That still took a physical paper test, but we met in one of the big classrooms where we could spread out. And for a class this size, we would have 2 different test days, half of us here at a time. And then beyond that, if things were to get really bad, figure out something else. Try to keep you in the loop. Let's see. Makeup exams. If you know you're not going to be here for a test, you can let me know ahead of time. That's nice, and we can figure all that stuff out ahead of time. I know that's not always possible. If you miss a test, then you need a valid, documented reason in order to be able to take a makeup exam. So, unfortunately, there are some valid excuses that can't be documented, and we really need documentation to do a makeup exam. So examples of documentation would be like a doctor's excuse, or a funeral program, or an obituary, or court papers, or traffic accident report. Now that's a little bit strict on the makeups, but I don't feel too bad about it, because if you miss a test and you don't have documentation on why you missed it, you can take the final exam. It doesn't stay with you. Makeup exams, we'll give those over in the testing services. It's in the basement of the library, and miss a test, we'll get all that. Questions on that part? Okay. So let's see, communication. Email is the best way to get in touch with me. I'm usually very responsive. If I'm not teaching another class or asleep, then I'm going to respond to you really quickly, especially if I'm in my office. If you look at my schedule and see it's my office hours, I'm probably going to answer you as soon as I get it typed. Pretty quick on responding to email there, but just be aware that if it's off hours, if it's middle of the night or something, I'll get back to you. Depending on the weekend, it might be later in the week. Typically, if it's normal hours, I'm really quick about it. Don't cheat. Academic dishonesty. University policy there. Military connected student. Veteran services is there. Have a Title IX concern. Got to be right up there with their contact information. And then stuff you probably don't care about, this is here for our self-study. In our department, we've got some of the things we're supposed to learn in this class. So you can look at those if you want. Questions on syllabus stuff? Okay. Let's look at Canvas. Our Canvas homepage. Here. Again, sorry it's so damn. When Friday, by Friday, I'll have my office schedule posted here. Click on it and see my office hours and when I'm in other classes there. And then right below that, it also has my email address and number. Right below that, I'll have the link to the here in a week or two, I'll probably have a daily schedule made out for us, so you'll know what we're covering what day. Well, the next big section is the module section, and I've got a bunch of stuff in there already. Talk about what some of that stuff is. The top section is just generic university policies and FAQ. So let me go to the student. Okay, the second little section under modules is where you'll go to register for the Hawks Learning software. All you have to do is click on the link and it'll walk you through. It's not hard. Sign right up. If you already have statistics access to Hawks Learning, so maybe you took started taking 204 and got your materials and then didn't get to finish the class, or you didn't pass or something like that, you don't have to pay for access to Hawks again. So if that's the case, send me an email or come talk to me at the end and we'll talk about how to get around that. No need to double purchase access. But for most of us, you can just click on this Hawks single sign-on link. It'll walk you through and sign up, and I'll show you what all that looks like in a minute. Down below that, and we've got a gold mine. I know it's hard to read up there. Got a gold mine for you. Okay, I have all of the lectures for all the sections from last semester. There, they're all on there. Okay. So practice test. Okay. So basically, we got a video course for the whole class. So if you miss a day, you can these. They're just YouTube videos. Just be aware these videos are from last semester, so you know if you miss a day and you get on there and the video's talking about, hey, don't forget we got a test tomorrow or something like that, don't panic. All that'll be announced here. Don't worry about stuff like that in the videos. I try not to say stuff like that, but occasionally I would forget. So get stuck quarantining or something at the screen recording. Down below that, we got a few videos about using a few different models of calculator. Help some of you if you have a different model of calculator and you need help when we get to some things that are a little tricky to do on the calculator. Let me know. Help you find what you need there. Then down below that, okay, I know it's down below that, I've got some worked example problems from different sections in Hawks. So the ones that are maybe a little bit more challenging, got some worked example problems. Okay. And then down at the very bottom, the last thing, I've got formula sheets for the test, and then some statistical tables we use in class. So we'll mention all that when we get there. Questions about that? I want you to be aware all that's there. Again, the main thing, especially for right now, is just that Hawks single sign-on link. Register for Hawks. So let's see. Get out of student view here, and we'll go look at Hawks. How many of you have used Hawks before? Oh, several. Your classes. typically after the class gets going, what'll pop up here on the dashboard, you'll have the assignments that are due in the next few days. Then you'll have a column like this that says due later. Then you'll have a column that says like past due. Got anything late? You want to see all the assignments at once? Click on the view course button in the corner. It'll bring up the whole list. So this is the list of all assignments for the whole semester. Due dates are out to the right. Give me maybe a week or so before you go and fill out your whole planner with all the due dates, because I need to double check them and make sure I don't need to adjust some of these. Okay, the first few are good, but as it gets down toward the end, I might need to adjust a little bit. First assignment. You can go ahead and do it as soon as we cover that section. Let's briefly look at, well, wait a minute, actually, hang on. I think I have one before that, but it's really short. I got one to do the 18th, and the rest is next week. Sorry about that. In Hawks is what's called a mastery-based learning software. So it's broken down into sections. It's a little bit different if you've used WebAssign or something like that. It's different from. So if you just have absolutely no idea what's going on in whatever section you're working in, start with Learn Mode. In Learn Mode, it will walk you through examples and things out of the textbook. And the goal is to teach you how to do whatever topic is in that section. And the second place we can go to is Practice. You can do practice, a set of practice problems as many times as you want to, and it'll give you random values. You change problems around, it'll be the same type of problem every time in that problem set, but it'll be different numbers. So you can get as much practice as you want there. Take a look at what it looks like. And if you've used Hawks before in another class, you're just as old news to you. Ones of you that you'll see it says this is question 1 through 10. Again, it's practice mode, so if you want more practice problems, just go back to practice and it'll give you 10 more problems. Here, this section is just vocabulary, so we don't have a lot going on. It's A or B. That's all we're picking on here. But the good thing about working in practice mode is that if you're making some kind of mistake on a problem, then you can go to the tutor down at the bottom. It gives you some options up here. It can walk you through it step by step. It can take you to the section of the textbook and learn, okay, for that problem, or it can just give you the solution. Learn. Also give you a link over here to video for that section. These are videos made by Hawks, so the quality on some sections is good, quality on some sections is not that great. You also have the videos from our lectures in here on those example videos. Okay. Let's practice. You can do practice as many times as you want to. Place where you earn points and where you complete the assignment is in Certify. So for different sections, you'll see mastery level down here. They're usually all around 70%. So what that means is that when we go to Certify, if we get 70% of the questions correct or more, you could make 100, but 70% or better, then you certify that section and it says, okay, you know this topic and you're done. You get all the points. You make 100% of the points for that section. So if you make a 100 or you make a 75, doesn't matter. As long as it's above 70 or above, you get all the points for that section. If you miss too many and you're below 70%, you don't get anything, but it's okay because you can try as many times as you want. When you're in Certify, it looks just like that practice mode screen we saw. except here you'll see a little heart that it like lies. Hawks call them strikes. And this is how many questions you can miss and still certify. We can still, there's 10 questions, we need 70%, so we can still miss 3 questions. The downside to jumping straight to certify, if you don't do anything in practice, is that if you're making a mistake in certify, a lot of the times it's harder to figure out where you're going wrong because you don't have all the show me the step by step and things like that in there. So the Hawk software people tell us when they run the numbers, students that spend a little bit of time in practice first, then go to certify, actually get through the section quicker than students that go straight to certify. Something to think about. If you're really confident, it's fine to go straight to certify. Something to think about. It might be a better use of your time to spend a few minutes in practice. That's it. So each one of these assignments, you just have like the little quiz and certify at the end, and once you get finished with that, you're done. Questions on how to do those assignments? And the other thing to show you here, for probably the minority of you that want to, I've got it set to update your Hawks grade in Canvas every day. I don't know what time that's going to run, or if it is at a certain time. Normally I do it manually. I'm trying the automatic thing this. But if you want to know what, like you just completed an assignment and you want to know how that changed your grade in Hawks, up at the top banner, click on grades, and where you're at now, I've got 100% because nothing's been due yet. Click there. And if you want to go to the ebook, there's a link up there as well. You won't have all of these. You'll just click on it. Pops up. It's exactly like the hard copy of the textbook, just electronic version. So flip through the pages and go to different sections, just like you would hard copy. Eventually that'll load, I think. Zoom. Okay. I follow along with the book. What we do in class, I'll use PowerPoint and we'll write on the PowerPoint, work problems together and things that way. I follow along with the book, but you don't have to have your book. I'll put out the PowerPoints that I use and those if you want to. Ebook is there for you. Kristen? Thoughts? Yes. So, the other thing we need to do with it being the beginning of the class is take attendance. I'm not going to screen record that.